Hello and welcome to Delight in Fright.
Thank you.
Welcome to Delight in Fright. We lost Dean for a minute here, but he's back. And
Yes.
I have Cat of Delight and Fright. Luna's not feeling well today, guys, so sorry about that. It's just gonna be me, but I'll try to fill the void that Luna has left for us. Dean W. Scott is an amazing author of The Deep End of Midnight, which is all horror stories, right? All horror short stories.
Yes. Yep.
Awesome. And then he also wrote Half-Life Grief. And then Something for Everyone is also short stories, but a variation of different types of genres. But before we jump into that, I have some very special news for our Delight and Fright fans. We're going to be doing another What's in the Box challenge subscription drive that we do that may or may not include Gwyneth Paltrow's head. We love to have fun here and be silly. So I wrote to a very awesome, amazing, beautiful actress uh, and horror icon, and told her about some things that were going on in my life, and shared with her um, some things. And I told her if she would love to help me grow our podcast here, Delight and Fright, that any contribution to our What's in the Box challenge, like a autograph signature item from her, would be just amazing and speak volumes and really help us out. And I was a couple days before Christmas. I had something in the mail for me that said Queen Bee Productions. And I'm like, what is this? Okay. And I open it up to find this from the one, the only Elvira, guys. Autographed, hot as fuck picture of Elvira, Miss Cassandra Peterson. And I was just, oh, in awe and just so excited to share that with you all. So this will be in our next What's in the Box challenge subscription drive. So all you guys have to do is subscribe and comment anywhere, any fashion, anywhere in any of the videos. Just leave a comment with your email so that we can find you if you are our lucky winner. So excited. And if you don't know, Cassandra herself is more beautiful than Elvira. So I wanted to share here with you some pictures of Cassandra in all her beauty. Let's see here. Look at that. Isn't she beautiful? With that hot red hair. Yes. So beautiful. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. So you can see that her natural state, I think, is far more beautiful. Here we go. Let's stop sharing that. All righty. Yay. I did it. And I didn't lose you, Dean.
No. Do you have video on me?
Yes.
Can you see me? You can.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because my thing's saying the camera doesn't
here.
have access and blah blah. So okay.
Oh no, I see you. Here,
okay.
There we go.
I mean, I don't know if you want to see me.
Now we're even. We're even.
Okay,
even.
Yeah. I have a big head.
So, Dean, you're a cartoonist beforehand. How did we get into writing and different genres? And we love that you're writing horror, so we always appreciate that.
Well, I think how it's such a long road. So cartooning came from my I didn't even start out being a cartoonist. I didn't intend to be a cartoonist, but through my veterinary schooling and things of that nature, it just kind of evolved because I don't think there's enough humor in our profession. So I was trying to help out sometimes a rather beleaguered group of people, to find some humor in a day. And I've done that for 20 plus years. I have several books out that way. I have actually done children's books as well. So whenever people ask me, well, what do you do? It's like, well, I'm all over the map. And to some degree, that's where the writing came from, because I have a restless brain. Um, but the impetus of it was, I don't know if anybody knows Peter David, who's a prolific book writer, comic book writer. He actually passed away this year, but he held a contest a few years back, and it was for an anthology, kind of a tongue-in-cheek anthology, and it's called "They Keep Killing Glenn." And he just put out a general, "Hey, we're going to have a contest. Tell us how you would kill Glenn," which is apparently a mutual friend.
Nice.
And yeah, I mean, and I'm like, well, I think, well, what would be the most embarrassing thing? And I thought, being killed by a ferret disease. So I actually sent that in. He gets a disease from a ferret, and I'd had no conception of this idea. I just thought, oh, I'll send it in. I didn't hear anything for weeks. It went. I had no expectations, and then they sent me a thing back saying, "Hey, we like your idea. Write 3,000 to 5,000 words." And now I'm stuck, because I'm like, oh no, I have to write this. So prior to COVID, I wrote basically a pandemic where a human virus and a ferret flu virus combined, and the patient zero, which is the name of the story, became something that spread through the world. And so I sent that in. Again, no expectations. I'm not a writer. I did some articles for magazines, but nothing like that. And I didn't know Glenn, so I really had to rely on using my character I made to affect Glenn and kill him in a very terrible way. Sorry, Glenn. But sure enough, month or two later, they called back and they said, yeah, we're going to use yours in the anthology. So when I got my copy, all of these people in the book are writers who make a living writing. And then there was me. And it was weird. I mean, I was very happy, but it felt weird to be in that, for instance, the gentleman who wrote The Trouble with Tribbles for Star Trek, the original series,
Nice.
he was one of the writers. So,
Nice.
and again, there was me. And I thought, oh, can I do this? And that was really where it all started. And I had, for whatever reason, maybe because I whenever I have an idea, just like with my cartooning, I write it on a little sticky note, and I had ideas written down, and that I sat down and wrote Something for Everyone, picking out those ideas that I thought I could flesh out. Some of which were horror, some are supernatural. I have a reverse werewolf love story, which I encourage everyone to read, because everyone seems to like that out of that collection the most. You have to read it I don't want to spoil anything. But yeah, so I did the short stories, and people responded really well to it. And I thought, okay. And I actually wrote that at the same time I drew Callie, my children's book, which is about a cow with a colorful rainbow unicorn horn, who feels different from everybody. And I did that over about a year and a half, going back and forth between Something for Everyone and Callie. And it was my fully digital children's book, and that came out really nice too. So anyway, then I did, what did I do after that? It's all a blur. It's literally been 4 or 5 years of me writing, which has been great. I'll be honest with you. I mean, my brain has been so happy with me, because it's such a therapy,
a release.
Oh my
God!
God!
All that crazy out.
Oh my, yes, it's like the clogged faucet. It's like, okay, let's switch these handles on as hard as possible and get this stuff out. And it's funny too, because there are stories in Something for Everyone that displaced other stories, because I didn't know I was going to write them. And it's been a ride, because and so Something for Everyone and Our Thoughts Are With You are multiple genre stories. And like I said, Something for Everyone literally does have. It's got a love story. It's got a horror. It's got supernatural. It's got a mystery. The World's Greatest Assassin is kind of a uh, period piece set in the 19th century. And because that's the way my brain works. Because a lot of people say, "Oh, what do you write?" And I'm like, "Oh, do you have time?" And horror is absolutely a fundamental base. And I knew when I did Deep End of Midnight, I knew I had enough stories to create a book from. Because my base is, I was raised on the old Hammer films, the
Nice.
werewolf, the Frankenstein, all of those original black and white, and all the way up till contemporary. What do we have now? Low lifes and all the new ones, Babadook, all these, So I'm still into the horror element, and it definitely influences. And what's funny is how much humor always instigates into even in my horror. For instance, the story Mew in Our Thoughts Are With You um, ends on a little bit of a punchline. Um, but uh, but yeah, so humor and horror go hand in hand as far as I'm concerned. And I know it
Hmm.
doesn't seem that way sometimes, but and I don't know. I don't know. It just happens.
Well, that was kind of my introduction to horror, at least the comedic stuff that I was able to watch, Evil Dead 2,
Oh yeah,
definitely
yeah,
comedic, hilarious, and it helps you see the lighter side of the characters and life in general. Like it's laugh or cry.
yep,
So, it's like
right,
either
right.
I find the people who thrive and are resilient or survive are the ones that have that sense of humor that
Hmm.
can kind of turn things around to their strength,
Right.
right, and kind of make it their own and come into their characters and things like that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I love that your introduction to writing was horror. So
yeah.
even
Right.
though
Yes.
you're not a straight horror author, that doesn't mean that that's
Yeah.
not where it seems that your calling is, because that's what got you into
Yeah.
just straight writing.
Right. Yeah. And yeah, I've got a sci-fi book coming out this year, Hunt for the Sankovar. I'm working on follow-up stories, which are in the fantasy realm. I have a trilogy called Dragon Vet, which sounds just like what it is, a veterinarian in a fantasy world. And so, yeah, I am probably going to do another short story book, which will be a multi-genre book with horror. I have definitely some horror elements in there too. Deep End of Midnight, I leaned as hard into the horror as I possibly could. Something for Everyone and Our Thoughts Are With You. People can find things in there that they like, and stuff like that. But if you like horror, Deep End of Midnight is that should satisfy almost anybody.
Awesome. And tell me a little bit about so your first story, did you know anything about ferrets? Or you were just like, it
No, I
just
wasn't.
sounds funny to throw in a ferret
No,
disease.
well, yeah, I don't know. I thought ferrets were so inoffensive, but such a popular pet, and and I don't know. It just, to me, again, the humor part of it was, oh, if you had to explain to a doctor that you got a disease from a ferret, it just seemed humorous to me to make that happen. And so, the main character has the flu. The ferret that he brings into his life has a ferret related flu, and they combine and make a virulent, cross species um,
Nice.
pandemic. And yeah, it's funny too because um, there's a review on Goodreads for They Keep Killing Glenn, and they reference because they reviewed the whole book, but they referenced specifically. They said because I have the protagonist goes to cons a lot,
Nice.
and I really leaned into the science of how viruses propagate, and
Hmm.
and all the things that he touches during the con. And the person in the review specifically said, "I am never going to a con again." And I went, "Yes, success."
And that's how we met at with Necronomicon, right? That's where.
Necronomicon.
Yep. So
Yep. Yeah.
that's where I met Dean, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you did too. I'm glad you said hi.
Yes, yes. And I had a ferret for a while. His name was
Oh,
Ozzy, and they
mhm.
are crazy. At least
Yes.
he was crazy. Like dogs, cats, nothing scared him. He'd get up on his hind legs and like do this arch thing and just
Yes. They
and just
are.
like go at people and like, animals. And they're just like, this thing's crazy. Forget it. They're just like, I give up, walk away.
Yep.
So I
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
just imagine a human infected with the ferret virus, like
Right.
how they're going to behave. That
Yep.
is definitely going to be hilarious.
Yeah, I just thought I thought such an inoffensive creature being such a terrible thing. Um,
Hmm.
Again, my end to it was, oh, I think that's funny, and then I killed a whole bunch of people.
Are you a fan of Beastmaster?
Oh my
That's why
god!
I wanted a ferret. I was like, they're so
Yes,
cool.
yes,
They don't do your
Beastmaster.
bidding.
Yeah, yeah, I remember seeing that in the theater. Thank you for I'm showing my age.
Yeah, but fantasy and fantasy horror. I mean, you got any ideas about kind of meshing the two together? Because that's
Well,
what Luna is obsessed with is fantasy horror.
so the Dragon Vet series, um, it's I guess from what I've gathered, because of course I don't know much of anything. I just do this thing that I do, but I guess it's feel good fantasy, but
Okay.
it does progress because it's a very found family. I just try to stay away from a lot of the fantasy tropes, which I know can be, you know, not what people want, but I can only write how I like to write things that I haven't read before, if at all possible. Not to say I'm hugely original, but that's, I want to be entertained, when
Hmm.
I'm writing. So I
You want
try
to
to,
make it your own, give it
yeah.
a different
And
spin.
so I avoided certain tropes. So it's very different fantasy. It's not epic fantasy. It's not quest fantasy. But as the three books progress, yes, it does get a bit darker for the things that happen with the characters and stuff like that. But the core characters, what I liked with them, because I see a lot of shows where the core characters they bicker and fight amongst themselves. There's internal drama, but this
Mm,
group always supports each other. They're always there for each other because there's enough
nice.
external things,
Hmm.
So I really like to retain that. The Half Life of Grief, though, um, being an urban fantasy, it's set in 2025 Tampa.
Nice.
So yeah, so that, and it's funny going from the fantasy of Dragon Vet to the core contemporary urban fantasy of Half Life of Grief was so much fun for my brain because I'm like, oh, I can use cell phones. My characters cuss, you know. I can do those things that I wasn't doing in the other
I don't
things.
have to force people to look up like what the hell this thing is, this
Right.
weapon, and
Right.
like
Right, and I could use buildings and streets and Google and all that other stuff. So, but that definitely, let me put it this way. So the impetus for Half Life of Grief is all cryptids are real. So they work, they live amongst people. There are wild cryptids, and there's a whole different division of law enforcement, divided further into rangers and detectives. Rangers deal with wild cryptids, and detectives deal with urban, humanoid cryptids, like moth people.
nice.
And we use the term moth people because not Mothman. Um, but so they take care of those kinds of things. So there are definitely horror elements to be found in there, and so it's a bit of Harry Dresden. I always hate to compare and
Okay.
contrast, but I love Jim Butcher's Harry Dresden
Hmm.
series, and I know for a fact that that's back there, you know,
Nice.
wanting to play in that realm. But there's really no magic and stuff like that, though.
Are there
Um,
any lizard people? I love lizard
yeah,
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there aren't. So Half-Life of Grief has its own contained story, even though I am doing a follow-up. So each book will be a self-contained story. It'll be helpful that you've read the others, but I kind of view them as like X-File episodes.
Okay.
You know,
Nice.
the third one I think I'm going to actually alligator people and lizard people,
Ooh.
because those are both cryptids agreed upon that are in Florida. Um, and
Yeah.
but I don't even know how many books out that is. I have too many book ideas, which is
Do you
not a
work
problem.
on different things at the same time, or you
No,
just
well,
one thing at a time?
can't say that because I did something for everyone and Callie, but they lit up different parts of my brain because one was just writing, one was more illustrating.
Okay.
So it was kind of nice. I could take a break and go back and forth. I guess I really wrote the sci-fi one along with the Dragon Vet follow-up stories, sort of back and forth, but not. I don't do it as much as I did because I don't know why. You know, when you start doing this, it feels like an avalanche, and you're trying to keep up with it because
Mhm.
I'm so excited to. I want to write this scene. You know, I want to get to this part. Um, and so that's such a thrill for me. Um, you know, just to sit down and do it.
Do
And
you
I do
write
have.
in order, or
What's that?
maybe do you write
Oh yes. Oh, I
in
think.
order and just get that scene that you write and then go back? No.
So far, I have written everything front to back. I'm the between in the writing world. They talk about pantsers and plotters. I'm very much a pantser. I don't. I know sort of where it's going. I have scenes or a vague framework that I where I want to go. Sometimes the characters will do that. Sometimes they give me something wholly different, which is fine, which is great, which is what's the fun part of this. You know, because if it's exciting for me, I hope it's exciting for the reader. You know, because it's all discovery for me. I'm writing and I'm like, I don't know what happens next, and
Mm.
for me it feels more real that way because to a large degree the characters don't know what's going to happen next, and so for me writing it that way kind of helps. Um, and just and I have yet to follow into a, oh, what did I just do? I completely wrote myself in. I haven't done that yet.
Nice.
um, but that part's I think has just been fun. Uh, I hear people who plot whole things, and I'm like, I don't have enough time. I have a full-time job. I'm not patient enough to sit there and plot. I'm gonna start writing. Okay, this is
Mhm.
where we start. Let's see what happens.
And then do you have an editor that you send stuff to so they can
Yeah,
kind of nice,
I have
nice.
I have a bunch of beta readers which have been very kind. And then I have and I'm gonna. I hope she doesn't watch this. I don't know how to say her name. She's in England, and I think it's Royson Haycock. But she's been my editor for. I haven't had an editor specifically for my short stories because I feel like I have um, a hold on those. But when I get to the novels, they're so unwieldy in my mind. It's like I need someone else to, you know, make sure that I'm on track. Whereas a
Mhm.
short story, I can still feel like I can do on my own. Um, and anyone out there who's had read my short stories and my novels, please tell me if that's true, because I have no idea. I'm faking this.
I actually, when I write, I try to like do like a background of my characters so
Mm,
that I don't like get them mixed up. Like, okay, he's got blue eyes, she's
yes,
this. So like I have like a character sheet, so to say, for them,
right,
like playing D&D or something.
right.
What
Oh,
they would
the number of
normally
times
do.
I had to go back and do a search and just like green eyes. Okay,
Mm,
yes, they were green. Okay, good. And now, yeah, I have that a little bit. You would not want to see the notes that I have in composition books of things as I write down because it looks like a mess. Um, but it's worked so far, I guess.
Hey, yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, how you,
People have been very kind. The thing that keeps me going besides my enjoyment of writing is the kindness of my readers. I mean, they've been really generous, in my opinion. I'm not writing the next great novel. I'm just writing something that I hope people enjoy. And so far, that seems to be working, and it's gratifying. Um, well, I mean, what else can I ask for?
so you do you still do any illustrating on the side, or just
So
or
I do.
maybe write little pictures in your books or things like that would be nice.
Well, it's funny. I'm doing Lakeland Comic Con, or there was Central
Okay,
Florida Comic Con, the January 17th and 18th, and I'm drawing dragons on the inside of my Dragon Vet trilogy. I'm doing pre-drawn dragon sketches. Um,
nice.
but so I'm still doing that. I have actually three more books I have enough cartoons for three more books on the veterinary side. And I'm still every now and then, because when you do, I have like I think over 5,000 cartoons in print. And after a while you start going, I don't want to go over the same road again. So
Hmm.
I'm really only doing cartooning when it really like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. Because the number of times at work where I'm like, oh, I have a cartoon about that. um, and yeah, and then my veterinary people have been quite supportive of all of this nonsense, um, which is nice because again, the cartooning specifically I do for them. That's as long as I can continue to provide humor to my community, I'll continue to do that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me about some of your horror roots. What was like some of your favorite besides the classic Universal
Yeah.
monsters? What,
Um, Go ahead.
no, no, go ahead.
Well, so I know it's funny because people will ask you, well, "What's your favorite horror movie?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa,
What type? I mean, there's
yeah. I mean, How long is your podcast? I mean, I will say, impactfulness. Um, uh, f- you know, Night of the Living Dead, the original, was which I saw on TV at home on Creature Features. Bob Wilkins in California. I still remember Creature Feature, and the scene where the little girl, because it's just the way it's um, filmed, where she becomes a zombie and takes the spade to the mother. And it was what they didn't show,
hmm
way more impactful than anything they could have shown with the shadow on the wall. Um, but I have three things that I always bring up when it comes to. First of all, I was probably just way too young to be seeing these things, but Jaws,
yes.
10 years old, saw it by myself in the theater in Florida during the summer. Yeah, great movie. Watched it several times. Loved it when I saw it too, but it scared the heck out of me. At 10, I was 10.
How long did it take for you to go into the ocean?
A long time. I mean, ankle, you know.
Just a toe.
Yeah, no, but it definitely changed your view of the ocean. Changed your view of the pool too. I mean, what kind of silliness is that? It's I mean, just irrational. Um, and then the original Alien.
Yes.
Um, when I think sometimes people are missing some of the novelty because everyone knows Alien now. They know the chest burster, they know the face hugger and all that. But when you go to that movie the first time in a theater, you don't know anything. Oh, oh,
Yes.
that was some rough nonsense. Yeah, great. It was great because I love horror. Oh yeah, you're gonna scare me? Yeah, please. Um, but boy, I remember that was a rough one. And
I
then,
love watching their reaction videos. I could watch the
yes,
reaction videos all day of people that have never seen it, watching it
yep,
for the first time. It's just epic.
yes. The and then do you know Trilogy of Terror? It's from the 70s.
Yes,
Trilogy is
yes.
the third
I
one,
love that.
the
Yes.
Zuni doll.
Hmm.
So I think it was Zuni doll. I watched that again by myself at home, and it was on regular TV. That
Hmm.
that
Oh yeah.
would should not have been on regular TV. So that was on regular TV, and I because they did such a good job of not showing things again, and the little tippy tappy of the Zuni doll's
Hmm.
feet. I
Hmm.
heard that for days afterwards. That yes, by myself in the house. Yeah, that was not well thought out. But again, and then The Exorcist. So The Exorcist
Hmm.
came out on HBO. I did the math. I think I was 11. And again, all these things you can see where it happens because so I'm 11. I'm by myself again at home. It's storming because it's Florida in the summer. But I'm so excited. Exorcist? Oh, this is going to be great. And you have to understand where I come from. There was no remote control at that time.
Oh, I
So
know.
I'm about 12 feet away from the box TV that has the clunk, clunk, clunk,
Hmm.
dial. I don't remember. I literally have phased it out. I've watched the movie several times in my lifetime since, and I can't remember where this happened.
Hmm.
But I was so scared. I don't think I touched the ground. I don't think I touched the floor, jumping to turn it off at one point. And I was just like stunned. And I wanted to watch it though. So I waited, I don't know, time 30 seconds, maybe 40 seconds. I went, well, that scene must be over, right? I turned it back on. I watched the rest of the movie, but I blanked out what it was.
Wow.
Yeah. So
It might have been the spider walk.
I don't, I think this wasn't the spider walk added later though, because I'm pretty sure in the original it wasn't, but I
Really?
maybe it was because I had blanked it out.
Hmm. Hmm. I
um,
just know that I watched it, on regular television, and
mm,
then when I see it unedited, I'm like, "Holy shit, what is
yeah.
she doing with that cross? Oh my god!"
Yes.
Like, I was like,
Yes.
"What?"
See, I know it wasn't that scene, even though, yeah. But that movie is so well done. That
Hmm.
just, I mean, it still will get to you. And it's funny too because I don't know about you, but I've become so jaded with horror movies because I've just seen so much
Yeah.
that it really takes something for me to go, ooh, that one was good.
Hmm.
Um, and I still remember watching oh, I'm gonna mess this up. It was I'm gonna mess up the movie title. Paranormal
Activity.
the first Paranormal Activity.
Hmm.
I'm in the theater watching it, and it's the scene where they speed up the time where she stands up out of the bed, walks around, and stands over her husband, and you just see her body kind of going back and forth because it's going so fast, and you don't know what's going to happen. And I felt my heart racing, and I'm like, oh, that hasn't happened in a long time. It's like, whoa, because there's no
Hmm.
music or anything, even. It's just silence watching her. It's like, what's she gonna do? Um, so yeah, so I'm glad horror I can still find things um
Yeah,
like that.
the most recent film that really had my heart kind of beating fast was Weapons.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm
It's
waiting. I'm
it's
waiting for it to
really
come
good,
out
and
on
I'm so glad I saw it in the theater. I don't want to give
oh
anything away, but at
no
the
no
end of the
please don't.
movie, somebody did something in the theater, and just everybody's like, "Ah!"
Nice.
It's just,
Nice.
like the old school, when you go to the theater, and like,
Yep.
it's that camaraderie, like you all
Yes.
survived something together.
Yep.
It was really great. But my favorites is um An American Werewolf in London.
Oh,
I think it has everything. It
the
has the
best song.
comedy, the
Yes.
drama, the love story. I mean, just the special effects, right? You can't beat that.
That is an excellent. I love that movie.
And Nazi werewolves, like it's just
Right.
so absurd, but
Well,
it
it's
works.
the best werewolf change movie.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yes.
I don't think I've really seen anything, and it really gives credence to the uh, the old school non CGI
Hmm.
things. I haven't seen anything really outside maybe Jurassic Park that has really not pulled me out of the movie.
Hmm.
Um, one of my favorite ones though too that I recommend to everybody, Black Christmas, the original.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
again, because you don't get to see a
Hmm.
lot of things that go on, and that's so well done.
Because what's happening in your head is always going to be worse than what
Mm-hmm.
someone can put on the screen for you, because
Yep.
we're all different a little bit, so
Yeah.
different things scare us. And I remember the first like horror movie that terrified me. I They'd been showing previews forever. I don't know if you remember, for The Howling, and it was
Yes.
lock your
I
doors
watched
and
that
stay
last year.
inside for The Howling, and it had like the doors and the barn and the werewolves clawing it,
Yep.
and I was like, I have to see this.
Yep.
So I convinced my younger brother to sneak out with me, and my mom was watching it. We knew she was going to watch it. She was a huge fan of horror movies. I
Mm-hmm.
would watch them with her all the time. Twilight Zone and all that, Outer Limits, all that fun stuff. So we snuck out and we're behind the couch, like watching The Howling. And my brother, he couldn't, he ran. He was like, he dipped. He was younger than me though. But
Uh-huh.
I remember sitting there watching as much as I could. And yeah, it was scary. And the next
Yeah.
day, I'm like, oh, oh, and my mom's like, wait a minute. She's like, I
Uh-huh.
thought I heard you last night. Like, oops,
Yeah,
busted.
my mom didn't restrict my horror at all. We watched a lot of
Mhm.
things together. We went to the first Alien movie I remember I saw
Nice.
with her.
Yeah, my mom
So,
didn't either, but I was really young. I think I was like 5, 6, and I was
oh, for the
yeah, I
Howling?
was really young.
Yes, yes. Yeah. Yeah, I've revisited some of those. Some of them hold up, some of them are a little creaky. Then it's like, oh, I don't, yeah, that was okay. Uh,
So, your parents were big into horror, and you
oh
watched horror
no,
with them, or
my
just your
mom,
mom? Your mom,
my dad
nice.
knew no interest. In fact, he's the one that dropped me off for Jaws. He so I have to understand this was the 70s. Okay, so my dad, I don't think I ever saw a movie in a theater with my dad, probably because of the what I liked. So I remember being dropped off for Jaws. I remember being dropped off for The Swarm, the bees movie,
Nice,
right?
nice, yes.
Well, not the bees, not Seinfeld's. That wasn't it,
Mhm.
but but I remember Food of the Gods, and my dad would drop me off at the theater, and then he'd pick me up afterwards, and so I saw a lot of those movies
Nice.
on my own.
Yeah, we were very fortunate. We grew up in Miami, and right behind our apartment complex was a drive-in theater.
No,
Was the Tropicana drive-in theater was
that's
right
cool.
behind our house. Sometimes we could look out the window and, and see some of the movies. So
Right.
that's why we got to see a lot of movies as a family, because they could just park in the back, throw out a blanket, the kids could
Yeah.
go to sleep, we could run around, be crazy, whatever. We saw Ghostbusters, Star Wars,
Oh, that's fantastic.
Gremlins, yes.
Oh yeah, Gremlins. Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, my mom, she was the horror fanatic, and my
Yep.
grandmother, her mom too. So it just kind of, we'd all be like snuggled up watching Twilight
Yeah.
Zone or
My
whatnot.
my mom and I read all Stephen. Back in the day. When the hardback Stephen King book came out,
Hmm.
we were all over that. You know.
My grandma had them all.
Yeah. 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 I read. I mean, I read sci-fi. I read fantasy. I read horror. But again, that's the thing. I was all over the map. I still even now will read biographies or historical things in moderation. I still fantasy and horror and sci-fi are my big three. Um, and I still feel like there's so much out there.
There there is.
I feel so remiss. I don't know if you know M.R. James as
No.
an author. I'd recommend him. I actually saw a short subject, I think, on Prime about doing one of his stories, and he very much has that Poe, Lovecraft,
Nice.
and I'm like, I never heard of this guy.
No.
And yeah, so he does ghost stories and supernatural and stuff like that. And I was quite taken with the show. And I'm like, wait, who is this guy? And sure enough, I can't remember. I think he was contemporary. I think Lovecraft followed Poe. I'm always history is not my strong suit, but so I think he was contemporary of Lovecraft. Um,
Okay.
but they both borrowed from Poe, I believe. Haven't we all? Um,
Yeah, I remember like checking out some books at the school library and reading them, like Stephen King's The Drawing of the Three.
yes.
And I was like, I can't believe I'm allowed to read this.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah.
But
I was.
now the poor kids, they do have to worry. I mean, they're getting their books snatched away. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
no, Fahrenheit 451, it's happening.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, The Shining, Firestarter.
Mm.
The Dead Zone, one of my favorites.
Yes, I
Even
love that.
even as a movie, I thought that was
Mhm.
one of the ones they translated well.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
And Christopher Walken, I mean,
I
he's
know,
just
I know.
amazing.
Yes, here, read this grocery list for me. That I'll be entertained.
Right?
I always thought Christopher Walken and Jeff Goldblum
Yes, I
would
love
be
Jeff
a
Goldblum.
great pairing. It'd be the longest movie ever because of the way they talk, and I'm not about to try to do it, but I mean, I would love that it's not only is ever going to happen, but they would be great. That would just be fun to watch them in a scene together. It'd be like De Niro
Absolutely.
and Pacino of eccentricities.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Oh man, it has been such fun, Dean. Was there anything else you wanted to share with
Oh
us? The
gosh.
time's just flying.
Yeah, yeah. No. You get me talking about horror. I'll be here for a while. No, not really. I just, like I said, um, my multi-genre books, even though yes, they're not solely horror, I did them with the idea that I knew there's going to be a rare person who liked every one of the stories. I knew that because
Hmm.
usually people when people ask you what genre do you write, they're like, oh yes, I like that. I want that. That's part of but for me, I kind of like a buffet, and that's what I try to offer people. And I always hope that, well, if you like, for instance, my reverse werewolf love story called Changes, you might like. I have a love story regarding zombies in Our
Nice.
Thoughts Are With You. So and I have a big. I didn't realize I had such a love of monsters, and what I mean by that is so many times the monster. I have sympathy for the monsters.
Hmm.
Emily is another story which takes a different viewpoint of the haunted doll, and that's in Our Thoughts Are With You. But yeah, until I started writing, I didn't realize how much sympathy I had for the monsters, and so sometimes they.
I mean, you started with a love of Night of the Living Dead. I mean, who was the real monsters there?
Right, yeah,
The humans.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I hope people you know take the time to. I've really tried to do what I can to entertain people, and again,
Yeah, and
I've
if
gotten
it's
great
well
feedback.
written, I mean, that's really what we're looking for, something that's well written,
Yes,
heartfelt. Even if we do like horror over one genre, I
right.
find myself, sometimes I'll be reading like a fantasy romance, and
Hmm.
it's beautifully written, and it's got the
Right.
pain and stuff that you can relate to. And then I'm obsessed with, I become obsessed with the trilogy that the author's writing, because it's
Hmm.
just so well written, and that's
Yep. Yeah, many of my reviews, and it makes me laugh every time. says surprisingly well written, and I'm like, why surprisingly? I mean, I'll take it, but it's so funny. But here's the thing: I can kind of agree with them. I'm like, yeah, I'm just as surprised as you.
Uh,
So
maybe it's for the type of stuff you're writing about. Is
yeah,
usually
yeah,
like when I say stuff like that, when I'm reviewing something, it's because, for that type of book, you're surprised that
yep,
it's so beautifully,
yeah,
eloquently said,
yep,
something that's like horrific, and you're like, wait,
yes,
why
yeah,
is this beautiful to me? I'm
right,
confused.
yeah, yeah. The Deep End of Midnight. There's some pretty strong stuff in that one. The other two I can kind of credit to teenagers and stuff like that, but Deep End of Midnight, that's adult.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well,
So
let's look at your funny vet page. Here,
okay.
let me share my screen so we can share with everyone. All right, so here's your website,
Yep.
funnyvet.com. And we have, I rescued my mom. I love it.
Yeah. The Cafe
Oh,
Press
and
store
here's
is definitely.
Callie with the
Yeah, that's
little.
Callie. Yep. And I do commissions, both digital and ink, pen and ink, and color pencil. Um,
Nice. And
yeah, but
here's all our books
yep,
here.
those are my veterinary books, and then there's different categories, fiction, I think
Oh.
on there.
So I take it that's what your day job is, caring for the
Yeah,
the
I
puppies
am
and
a
the
veterinarian.
aminals.
Yep,
Oh.
I am a veterinarian. Let's see, since '93. So
Yeah, I've been
there's a.
my day job is for the government, so
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, so we're looking at another shutdown coming up here soon. So
Oh no,
I probably
geez.
won't be being paid and being forced to work, but I've been pet sitting for Rover, and my husband's able to do that and help out. So that's
Oh, okay.
it's really come in clutch for us to really have, just some a little extra set aside so that
Yes,
we don't
good.
have to max out all the credit cards, until eventually I get paid.
Yeah, yeah. The I'll be adding 2 or 3 books to that list there
Nice.
this year.
Well, that's a
Kind of
beautiful
excited.
cover here. I love that
So, yeah,
cover.
so the Dragon Vet was Nick
Oop,
Harris,
oop.
that one.
Mhm.
And so Nick Harris, he actually did the backgrounds for Roger Rabbit,
Nice.
which I didn't know when I hired him, and he was in England. But he's quite old, and I think he retired because when I wanted him to do the next covers on the other books, and he just wasn't available. So
Mhm.
Daniel Govar, who is actually local, he's in St. Pete. He did the Dragon Vet's Apprentice and Dragon Vet Ascendant.
Okay, awesome.
Um, and just does a great job. Half-Life of Grief was done by Xavier Patterson, and he's going to do the subsequent books that I have planned for this year. My short stories both are The Deep End of Midnight, Something for Everyone, and Our Thoughts Are With You, um, are all done by Aja Blue, and I think she's up in New York. So
Nice.
it's been nice to have different people to, and she did the very first Something for Everyone, so I really credit her for launching that very first book. Um,
Awesome.
yep.
So, in the link for this video, guys, I'll also have Dean's Amazon shop where you can buy his books as well. Or do you do like print on demand through
Yes,
Amazon? Okay,
it's
nice.
KDP. It's
Okay,
they can contact me directly. There's a contact
okay,
link in FunnyVet. That way you can get a free signature if you so desire.
nice.
And for a nominal cost, I'll do a little dragon sketch if you get the Dragon
Oh,
Vet books. I haven't really generated a something to draw in any of the horror stuff like that. I just dragons just are such a natural thing for the fantasy books.
yeah,
Uh,
I'll be sure to add the funnyvet.com link in
yeah.
there too. So, do you see more of the proceeds if they purchase through that?
Oh no, it
The
all
same?
those are just links to Amazon for the most part.
Okay.
If anyone's ever inclined to support their local private independent bookstores, all the independent bookstores can order my books,
Nice.
through there too. So I'm a big believer in that. Inklings in Bartow have been they're a used bookstore, and they've been very supportive.
Nice.
And they've ordered books, and so, but yeah, contact me directly, tuneful@aol.com, or through the Funny Vet website, or hey, find me on Facebook. And I'm not difficult to
Or at
find.
your next con, the 17th and
Yes.
18th.
Yep.
Where's it at?
So it's at the RP Funding Center in Lakeland, Florida.
Okay.
And it's the Central Florida Comic Con. So there's a lot going on there. Not just me. Just to be, full disclosure. I'm not the big attraction. But yeah, I'll have all of my books, veterinary, children's, horror. And what's so funny is when, I don't know if
everything.
you remember my table, but it's so difficult because I always have to ask people, so what do you like? So let me direct you. Because people are like, you do all of this? I go, yeah, this is my brain splattered all over the table. I don't, I can't help it.
So next week we are talking with enduring evil art. Endearing evil art. Eyes Without a Face is the film that we're going to be discussing next week, and that will be the 14th of January, 10 p.m., our usual time. And don't forget, guys, you could be the owner of this beautiful autographed Elvira photo by subscribing to our YouTube channel and just adding your email in any of the comments. You could be the winner of our next What's in the Box challenge.
Icon.
Yes.
Yep.
And I want to show you, Dean, how we say goodbye here at Delight and Fright.
Okay.
We're big Cthulhu fans, so for
Oh,
Cthulhu, we do a little tentacle action
not
there.
Zoidberg.
I love Zoidberg too. He's great. I love it. So thank you so much for joining us,
Thanks
Dean.
for
Was
having
there
me.
anything else you wanted to share with us before we say goodbye?
I could talk all night, but no, I'll give people a break.
Well, you are always welcome on any other time. You have something else new you want to talk about, you are always welcome to come chat with us.
Thanks. Well, I'm sure I'll see you around.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have our little outro, and good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Hello, boils and jewels. It's your old pal, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper. And I want to thank you for listening to Delight and Fright with your hosts, Luna and Cat, a podcast for outcasts.